Hi Taurus, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina, or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again today, and I hope that you receive a message that you need to hear for the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry for being so late. Thank you so much for your patience, Taurus. It really doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you for not rushing me. Thank you for not, just tweeting me like, where's Taurus, where's Taurus? It really does make an impact when I'm able to just go along on my path at my speed and not be rushed. I understand that, you want your video, you want insight, but it means a lot to me when you understand that I am also human, that I also have a life, that I have things to do. So thank you so much for just your patience and your support and love, and just knowing that I'm going to be there one way or another. I'm going to get here one way or another. I just got to sometimes go at a certain speed that doesn't match what your expectations, So yeah, just putting that aside. Also, my shirt's like a little wet. I just got out of the shower. I had a long, busy day so far, so I'm finally able to sit down and do these videos. But yeah, this is going to apply to Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in Tropical and Sidereal. If you don't know any of your placements, or if you don't even know what tropical system and sidereal systems are, please feel free to look it up. All of the information is on Google. I promise you'll be able to find it. So this reading is going to be for September 9th all the way through the 22nd. Again, I'm late. I'm sorry. I know, but thank you so much for your patience. Much gratitude. So let's just get into it, okay? All right, Taurus. So what is in store? What is in store for Taurus between September 9th all the way through the 22nd. What should Taurus expect between September 9th all the way through the 22nd? That was quick. Alright, we have the Ace of Swords reversed, which signifies to me confusion, not feeling clear on what your path is, not feeling clear on what decision to make, not feeling clear on whether or not you should cut a certain person out. Maybe there's a Virgo that you need to cut out from your life, because I have the Hermit here. Maybe you're having a hard time taking time for yourself. Maybe you're having a hard time separating from the masses, or separating from the group, or from whoever, whatever thing. Maybe you're having a hard time detaching yourself and going along your own path and finding your own independence and finding your own light. I feel like some of you may have had a little bit of a hard time finding your light and connecting with yourself and connecting with your worth, connecting with who you are as a person. And maybe people have sold you this dream that they're going to give you this opportunity or this, but everything was just, and maybe you were tempted by this, and maybe, you were tempted by the glitz and the glam, but once you actually took this opportunity, you saw that it was hollow and shallow and not what you wanted. And so there's just a little bit of this lack of clarity. And it could also be that some of you maybe are not able to communicate effectively what you want to do. And so there's a need for you to kind of go solitary a little bit with this Hermit card. I feel like some of you kind of need to reflect. Some of you could be on a spiritual journey at this time. And this spiritual journey, if you are like just now starting your spiritual journey, I feel that this Ace of Swords was the catalyst for this spiritual journey. This lack of clarity, this confusion, this indecisiveness, this lack of assertion, this lack of knowing who you are and where you want to go, what path you want to forge for yourself, because maybe other people have been forging the path for you and telling you that this is the path that you need to take because it worked for them. But maybe that just isn't the path that is for you, because just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And so maybe some of you need to go on your own way. You need to follow your own path, even if it's not a path that they think is right, even if it's not a path that, worked for them, because we're all different. We're all unique. Everything works differently for different people. And, you know, maybe they even discourage you from following a certain path, from making a certain decision, from going to a certain school, from taking a certain job, from taking a certain opportunity, because they're saying it from their own perspective and how that would affect them, not how it would affect you. And, you know, they might see this path as really dark and scary, and maybe you even see this chance or this opportunity or this offer or this job, whatever. Maybe you see it as something very mysterious and very dark and gloomy, and you don't really know what to expect, but that's the beauty of it. And that's when you are in darkness, all you have is your own company, and you can learn so much about yourself. When you are in darkness, or even just in silence, everything doesn't have to be, you know, like full of noise. You don't have to have noise or movement all of the time. And so I feel like some of you, that is what you are learning in the next 2 weeks. And I feel that, you know, you're going your own way, you're doing your own thing. And I feel like you're learning how to make your own decisions, even if you feel lonely while you're doing it, even if you end up losing people who you thought meant a lot to you, or who you thought, you know, had your back. Maybe you'll end up losing some people because of the decision that you make, but that's okay. That simply shows their colors. It doesn't show your lack of worth, if that kind of makes sense. It simply shows how they don't value you, how they don't necessarily want the best for you, and how they're focused on themselves. And, you know, that's fine, I guess, but that's just not for you. So don't be hard on yourself if people kind of veer away from you, or, you know, they just decide to no longer be associated with you because of the path that you choose. You will find new and better people that are suited for you once you follow the path that is meant for you, okay? Okay. So we have the Three of Wands, which signifies exploration. I feel like you're just going to be learning so much. Something that really catches my eye is how the Hermit is kind of dark, kind of gloomy, you know, he only has this light, but then it's like he reaches the top of the mountain and everything is just so light, it's so beautiful, and you see the expansiveness. And, you know, when you start on this journey or this path, or whatever you want to call it, right, sometimes because it is so unfamiliar to us, and we don't have any sort of experience with it, and we don't know any other people who have experience with it, we think of it as something scary, and we think of it as something that is not worth pursuing, and, you know, we avoid it for as long as we can sometimes. And it's when we take that leap of faith, and it's when we decide to be curious and to allow our curiosity to lead us rather than our fear to lead us, or our anxiety or doubts to lead us, that we discover that there is a greater world in front of us, and that there is a greater, I guess, purpose to all of this, you know? And so I kind of just see this Hermit and the Three of Wands as you start off feeling kind of gloomy or whatever, and, you know, you don't really know where you're going because it's so dark, and you can only see what's in front of you, so you can only trust that you'll get to the other side. But once you do get to the other side, once you do get to the top, to your peak, to this peak of the mountain, you see that there is just this beautiful expansiveness, that there's just beauty, that there's so much land, that there's so much life that is in front of you. There is so much space for you to do things. And I feel like you're going to be learning so much about yourself and implementing this knowledge and wisdom to do better things for yourself. And I feel like with this Three of Wands, I feel like you're just going to be learning a lot. Some of you could be traveling with this Three of Wands. Some of you could be traveling, or, you know, going on vacation, moving out somewhere. But I feel like you're doing something different. You're expanding your horizons. You're going outside of your comfort zone, and I can't help but congratulate you for that, because I know that for you, Taurus, that is something very difficult for you. And if you are on a spiritual journey, for example, and if you have been doubting yourself, if you have been doubting your purpose, if you have been doubting if this is the path for you, I encourage you to go a little longer, to keep on pushing, to keep on reflecting, to continue pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, even if it's so uncomfortable that you are just, you want to just close down and shut down. Give yourself a break when you need to. Don't overwork yourself. However, keep on pushing, continue working at a steady pace, and I feel like you will be able to gain so much more mental clarity. And I feel like that you'll be able to make this Ace of Swords upright again, and you'll be able to have this mental clarity. You will see things so much more clearly, and you will see things from a different perspective. And I feel like that's exactly what you need. Some of you might need to connect with some sort of mentor or a teacher, or, you know, maybe even someone older with this Hermit, right? Someone who is wise beyond their years, or maybe someone who is your age, but they're wise beyond their years. Maybe there is someone who you will connect with along this path who will very much help you in expanding your horizons and expanding your mind and expanding your brain, and not just limiting yourself to a specific perspective or a specific reality that you have and trained yourself to live in. So that's something that I see for you, Taurus. I just see a lot of expansion. I see a lot of just realizations. I see a lot of epiphanies. I feel like you're just learning so much about yourself, and I feel like you kind of just like want to share that. And I feel like you'll be so grateful towards yourself when you reach this peak and you realize, like, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly what I needed to do. Thank you for this path. At universe, thank you for this path. Thank you for this journey. I feel like you're like, things are going to fall together, and you'll be like, it's just going to be a breath of fresh air. Anyways, sorry for the tangent. I have the Lovers here. So you could be dealing with a Gemini. I have heavy Virgo or heavy Mercury energy. So there could be like a lot of talking. And I mean, it makes sense because we have the Ace of Swords reversed. Also with the Ace of Swords, this can signify someone who is being a little bit harsh with their words, but they know that they're doing it. It's like they're doing it on purpose. So maybe you have been a little bit harsh with your words, with your communication. Maybe you haven't been mindful of the way that you speak. Maybe you haven't even been mindful of the way that you talk to yourself. Maybe there has been a lot of negative self-talk, and maybe that's why you need this sort of retreat. If you're going like on a yoga retreat or something, or like a weekend retreat, or like going camping, I feel like that's really going to help you, and I feel like it's going to give you a lot of clarity. I feel like going out in nature is really going to help you. But also with the Hermit, this is Virgo energy, this is Virgo season. I feel that Virgo season is really just a time of expansion for you, of learning, of doing new things, and making important decisions for yourself. The Lovers, this is an important decision. This is a decision that there's a very clear right or wrong answer, and I feel that you're being given that opportunity, and I feel that you're very aware of the choice that you have to make, and I feel like a lot of you are going to make the right choice. And the reason why I say that is because I have the Eight of Swords reversed, which is just release. This is liberation. This is just like, you are no longer going to imprison yourself in your own mind. I feel like a lot of you may have really imprisoned yourself in your own mind with just really self-deprecating thoughts, with negative self-talk, with not really believing in yourself. The Eight of Swords is right under the Ace of Swords reversed, and like when you add these two together, this makes the Nine of Swords. And so the Nine of Swords is all about doubt, it's all about anxiety, it's all about insomnia. Maybe some of you haven't been sleeping very well because you've just been overthinking everything. Maybe some of you have been doubting your path, like I said earlier. Maybe some of you haven't really been having any sort of trust within yourself, thus not having any sort of trust within the universe. So I feel that a lot of you are breaking free from that, and I feel that the key to breaking free is just being alone with your own self, in your own company, and not letting anyone else influence your thoughts, not letting anyone else influence your thoughts, your behaviors, your attitudes, your reactions. I feel like it's just a time for you to get centered, because I feel like you're just so incredibly scattered. And I feel like you're just going to be opening yourself up to a whole new world. And I feel like a lot of you are really going to learn how maybe you have played a role in this self-deprecation, or in the place that you're in right now. And this isn't to say that you are full of blame, or that I'm judging you, or that, you are just completely wrong. This isn't me trying to place blame, or, trying to, point the finger at you. But I feel like a lot of us, we tend to be complacent in our habits because they have worked for us in the past. And so we think, oh, just because it worked yesterday, then it must work today. And so we kind of get stuck in these habits. And I know Taurus, for you, I mean, I'm a Taurus rising, like, I get it. We tend to stick to certain habits, to stick to certain behaviors, attitudes, approaches, reactions, because they have worked for us in the past, or we think that they have worked for us in the past, or, you know, they have helped us cope in some way. But that's not something that we can continue to do all of the time. That's not something that we can continue to do for the rest of our lives. At one point, we have to break the chains of our own habits, break the chains of our own, you know, negative self-talk, or coping mechanisms that simply don't benefit us, that aren't helping us anymore. So I feel like a lot of us are kind of seeing like how we played a role in our own demise, so to speak. Again, not blaming you for anything, but, you know, it's just the sense of taking responsibility for ourselves and realizing that we have a choice in whether we want to move forward and, you know, do better for ourselves and grow, or if we want to remain chained up in our own heads and allow fear to control us, essentially. So I see that for a lot of us. Next, we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, which signifies kind of like a loss of opportunity, or kind of like a lack mindset. I feel that with this Eight of Swords reversed and this Ace of Pentacles reversed, a lot of us are releasing ourselves from the lack mindset that we have. And I feel that a lot of us are liberating ourselves from focusing so much on the money, or focusing so much on the status or the reputation or the wealth, or this idea of stability that we have in our mind. I feel like we're letting go of the expectations. We're letting go of, you know, the pressure that we put on ourselves, and we're just letting things go. I feel that we're just going to be gaining we're going to be gaining a different perspective that is going to impact us in a very positive way. And I feel that we're going to look at these things differently. We're going to be looking at money differently. I feel like we're going to be looking at it from a much more positive perspective and saying like, hey, I deserve money. I deserve wealth. I deserve to have a stable household. I deserve this. I deserve that. And once you believe that you deserve it, it's going to start coming to you. And it's like you're unlocking the key to the manifestation and to all of this. Like with all of the knowledge that you're gaining, I'm getting emotional. With all of the knowledge that you're gaining and that you will gain, you will begin to unlock the door within you, because all of the answers are within us, but we get so caught up in the simulation that we lose sight of it, and we lose sight of we lose sight of the answers. And so I feel like we're gonna unlock that key, or we're gonna unlock that door, and it's just gonna be wide open for us, and everything will just fall into place. Everything will make sense. And so I feel like we're just releasing ourselves from that. We're liberating ourselves from the confusion, from the doubt, from the negative self-talk, from all of the things that have just been pushing and pushing and pushing us down. There could also be a Virgo who is helping you out in your expansion, a Gemini who is helping you out in your expansion. Maybe you're liberating yourself from a Gemini, right? Maybe you're making the choice of liberating yourself from a Gemini at this time. We have the Chariot, so you could be dealing with the Cancer as well. Maybe you're liberating yourself from a Cancer. But I feel like you're just moving forward. You're moving away from this lack mindset, Ace of Pentacles reversed. You're moving away from this lack mindset of this mindset that you are not stable, from this mindset that of needing certain expectations. Incredibly unrealistic expectations, should I say. And so I just see you learning, moving forward. You're being assertive. You're standing your ground. I feel like this energy, this Chariot, is very much reflects this Ace of Swords, but it's upright. It started off like reversed, obviously. But I feel like these two kind of reflect very well off of each other. And I feel like you're going to gain clarity. And I feel like once you kind of gain momentum, once you start this process of expanding and learning and introspecting and reflecting and just like releasing all of the things that have been so pent up within yourself and that you have been chained down to within your own mind. There's nothing stopping you after that. Like, you're just moving forward, you're going onward, you're doing your own thing, and no one or nothing can stop you. And it's important for you to remain focused on your goal, to not let the words, to not let the whispers, to not let the discouragement of other people get in the way of your success, to not let other people get in the way of your growth, essentially, because that's not, sorry, I'm checking my phone really quick to make sure that no one, okay. That's not what you deserve. You deserve greatness. You deserve wonderful, wonderful things. And I see you just moving away from that. And I see you moving towards abundance and moving towards better things. I feel like you're just ascending. And some of you could be really, really in tune with your intuition. And some of you could be feeling very spiritually in tune with yourself, maybe spiritually in tune with like your spirit guides or with your angels or your ancestors. I feel like you're just growing as a person. And I feel like you're speaking your mind and you're being very direct as to what you want and how you're going to get it. You know, you're not going to let anything get in the way of that. You're not going to let yourself get in the way of that. I feel like you're no longer allowing yourself to be your own worst enemy. So there's that. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. I'm just going to go ahead really quick with this one. The Queen of Pentacles reversed can be an earth sign that you're dealing with. This typically signifies someone who has low self-worth, very codependent. So maybe there's someone that you're dealing with who's very codependent, and maybe you're moving away from this person because they just weren't very stable for you, because they were, you know, maybe they were just kind of pushing you down and keeping you away from your success, keeping you away from whatever it is. And so maybe some of you have a choice as to whether or not you want to move on from this person, because right above this Queen of Pentacles is the Lovers, and that signifies a choice. Maybe some of you are being presented with a choice as to whether or not you want to stay with this person, or if you want to move forward, if you want to do something differently, if you want to expand. I feel like something that's very important for you, the question that kind of keeps on coming up is like, do you want to expand, or do you want to remain constricted to the life that you're living right now, or constricted to the little norm, the little box that you have created for yourself, essentially, or the box that, you know, has just kind of created itself over time through circumstances and experiences and things like that. So that could also be an issue for you that is coming through for the next 2 weeks. With the Queen of Pentacles reversed, this can also just signify your own energy, Taurus, where, you know, it's important for you to build upon your self-worth, to build a foundation for your self-worth, to not rely on other people to progress, to not rely on other people to give you, to like basically hold your hand throughout this entire process. I feel like it's important for you to just be independent, to be your own, to think on your own, because I feel like, you know, maybe there have been circumstances or times where, you know, people have forced their opinion on you and made you feel worthless, and have made you feel that your opinion or that your voice doesn't matter. And so you've kind of just like let them take on the wheel of your own life. And, you know, they kind of have always pushed you down in trying to make themselves feel superior and make themselves feel useful. And so if that's the case, then it's just time to kind of move away from that. And I feel like this spiritual journey, or this retreat, or this vacation, or this move, or this travel could really help you in seeing things a lot more clearly, and in building up the self-worth, and in building up your own independence, and no longer having to rely on other people for answers, or for guidance, or for advice, or whatever it is, or even like for money, because with the Ace of Pentacles, that's like money. So it also, really quick, it could be that someone was like holding their money over you, or like holding money over your head for whatever reason. It's kind of like the scenario that I kind of get with this is like, I take care of you financially, and so you have to do this, this, and this for me. You know what I mean? Like, I pay for the house, so you have to do this, and there's no, you have no say in this, essentially. I feel like some of you could be moving away from that, liberating yourself from that, like I said, and, you know, believe in, like, showing yourself and convincing yourself that you do have a choice in matters, that you do have a say in these matters, and you do like I said, you do have a choice. So some of you could be just moving away from that and building your own foundation, building up something that does not involve this person, and just proving to them that you don't need them. If anything, they need you, because without you, they wouldn't have this sense of superiority, essentially. If they didn't have you, they would have to find some other way to feel superior or feel useful in some sort of way, and that's like the whole issue. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards, because I know I kept on rambling a lot. So it's also like at 25 minutes, and I should probably be done by 30. So I'm sorry, Taurus. It's a lot. So I just want to be thorough. And I feel like that's kind of what you need right now, is just being thorough, being efficient, to get thorough information and whatever. So what messages or confirmation can we give Taurus for the next 2 weeks based off the energy that is being presented to us? What messages or confirmation can we give for Taurus for the next 2 weeks? What messages or confirmation can we give Taurus for the next 2 weeks based off the energy that is presented to us at this time? Yes. Oh my god, I'm not surprised that I got this card. I was thinking about this card, actually. So we have a fork in the road and all that glitters. Okay. So fork in the road makes sense to me. Obviously, there is a decision that has to be made, right? The lover's choice. You're at a fork in a road, and you don't know what choice to make. You know, there's one path that seems very glittery, very glitz and glam. Everyone is encouraging you to take this path. They're saying, look at all of that gold, look at all of that success, all of that material prosperity. That is the right choice for you. And everyone is telling you that make this choice, take this path, take this path. But there is a part of you that I think knows that this isn't a path for you. And maybe that is why you are conflicted, because you don't want to disappoint people, but you also know that you have to live for yourself and to live out your own path and to do things for yourself. And so there's just that overall conflict, right? And so I feel that with this Hermit card, this is why the Hermit is so essential for you right now, because it separates you and detaches you from all of the whispers, all of the voices, all of the other people that don't matter, because this is your life, not theirs. And so I feel like, you know, being able to reflect, being able to be on your own, not having to listen to other people because, you know, they're just causing so much confusion, you'll feel a lot more mentally clear. You will feel so much more mentally clear when you're alone. So obviously there's a decision to be made. Don't make the decision that seems physically appealing. Sometimes the path that is very pretty, that is very sunny, has all the flowers, isn't the one that we were meant to take, because it's the easy way out. Because it could very easily change into something that we did not want or we did not expect. Or it could be the thing that someone else wanted, and that you ultimately did not want. You know, a lot of the times we do things to make other people happy, and we have to realize that it's our life. We have to do what makes us happy. So make sure that you're making a decision that makes you genuinely happy for the long run, not just temporarily satisfied. So that's something to just take note of. Also, we have chop wood, which essentially just, to me, signifies a focus on the present, focus on, like, clearing up the clutter, focus on clearing up your mind. And the way that you can do that is by going hermit, by being alone, by sitting in the dark for a little bit, by sitting in nature. All alone, with just the birds talking to you, with just the cicadas talking, with just the leaves rustling. Clear the clutter in your own home. And yes, it can signify your physical home, but in your own inner home, in your own self. Clear everything up. Clear up all of the things that you do not claim. Clear up all of the things that do not belong to you. Clear up all of the things that aren't tied to you in any sort of way. If they're not your feelings, if they are not your thoughts, if they are the beliefs and attitudes of others, clear that out. Clear the clutter so that it's just you and your soul and your mind. And lead with that so that you can make a sound and wise decision for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead with the affirmations. I'm trying not to take up too much of your time. I'm already at 30 minutes. I'm sorry. But what affirmation can we give for you today? What affirmation can we give Taurus for the next 2 weeks? What affirmation does Taurus need to hear for the next 2 weeks based upon this present energy? What affirmation does Taurus need to hear based off the energy that is present at this time? I like that card. I also like this card. We have trust. I trust that everything will be okay in the end. Partly because I simply know it in my gut, but also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. Then we have positive thinking. In the garden of my mind, I water the good thoughts and weed out the bad ones. I throw in forgiveness and empathy seeds by the handful if I want, and I take a lawnmower to the jealousy and resentment patch. I'm a pretty badass mind gardener. I like that a lot. So that is it for you, Taurus. I really hope that you enjoyed. I'm sorry if I rambled a lot, but I really hope that it resonates. And I hope that you find your way and that you find your path and all of that. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought. I love to hear all of your feedback, your stories, your thoughts, all of it. Yeah, just talk to me. Like the video, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, family, loved ones, classmates, teachers, mentors, neighbors, dogs, whoever. Share it with them and see what they think. And subscribe if you desire. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. Make sure to read all the policies, terms and conditions, product listings or whatever, booking listings, whatever. Just so that you are well informed as to what you're getting yourself into, so that you're aware of the rules that I have and just how I run things. Okay. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And I think that's it. So I'll talk to you soon. If there's anything else that you need, it'll probably be in the description bar below. And yeah, make sure to drink water, take care of yourselves. Make sure to get out of the crowd. If you have been surrounding yourself with way too many people way too often, take a little bit of a break so that you can just be with your own company and with your own thoughts so that you can reflect. And yeah, I love you. Take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you soon.